Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2013 sequel film Anchorman 2. The Legend Continues. This stars Will Ferrell, Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, David Cockner, Christina Applegate, Dylan Baker, Megan Good, Judah Nelson, James Marsden. We love James Marsden as Jack Lime, Jack LeMay. Name changes constantly. So this starts out in 1979. We jump then to 1980. Ron and Veronica are co-anchors on a news program in New York. So they go from San Diego to New York. Ron is then fired. Veronica is made lead anchor. Ron goes back to San Diego, works at SeaWorld for a bit, and then eventually is drafted to launch the global news networks, GNN, and their concept of 24-hour news, constantly, rather than just nightly news. So it's unheard of at the time. And then it's a matter of getting the band back together and new stuff and who's sleeping with whom and who's betraying whom and all of the chaos. And then a high-speed chase in Milwaukee and ratings get broken. But then it's the matter of Ron not trying to be a father to Walter, but he then goes blind at some point, and then he becomes anchor again, but then he gets rid of being anchor, and then there's a whole massive news fight in Central Park like there was in the first film. Not in Central Park, obviously, but there's another massive news fight. This was 2 hours long. This was made 9 years after the first. The only reason this was made was for fan service, and I get it. Give credit where credit is due. I respect the comedy film that it is. It turns out I did watch this film. Completely forgot I watched this film until I'm watching it. I'm like, wait, I remember this. I hated this film so much back then that I just completely blocked all of it out. It's just so, it's annoying. And I can't watch Will Ferrell babble and scream for 2 hours. I can't do it. And I give credit where credit is due. He is a critically acclaimed artist. But I can't do it for a 2-hour film of him screaming. I can't do it. Yeah. The highlights that I remember the most specifically from when I first saw it was the multi-news media fight at the end and the lighthouse scenes with that cool blanket that he wears. That's what I remember from 2013. I didn't remember the rest of it until I watched it. And I'm like, oh, that's right. James Marsden is in this. We love James Marsden. Didn't remember it. Blocked it out of my memory. So that says a lot for how much I despised it back in 2013 as opposed to now in 2022 that I'm watching it again for the second time. I had to have seen it in theaters, and I probably hated it so much that's why I just blocked it completely out of my memory. It's very interesting how memory works. If you don't like something, or if something is so traumatizing, you block it. And then all of a sudden something happens and then it comes back to fruition. And here we are, back to fruition, watching Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, just completing the Anchorman review cycle. And that's it. We don't have to watch him ever again. We're done. Mucho mahalo.